Hey everybody, it's Matt Johnson here with Aaron Wittenstein. This is the first episode of Lead Gen TV. We are really excited for this series. It's going to be a live interview series, and it's all about lead generation scripts and objections. And that's what we're all about today. Aaron, obviously the founder of the Facebook group, Lead Gen Scripts and Objection Handling. If you want to give out the specific URL, Aaron?
Yeah, it's hey, what's up, everybody? Aaron Wittenstein here. The URL, I believe, is right below us, facebook.com/GotObjections. Yeah. So one of the things that I found very interesting is that scripts mindset is something that is not rocket science. Would you guys agree with me on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's Jason, by the way, Jason Shinpaugh. He's going to be our first guest. Let's give him a round of applause. Yay!
Yay!
He's clapping for himself too. Okay. And I'm
a winner.
Out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. And what I looked at here is I've scripted with many high-level people across the country, and they're no better than some of us. I just think they're so confident in what they say, and they've just got it down. They know exactly what they're supposed to say, when they're supposed to say it, and they kill it. So, Jason, from what we've been talking about, he just absolutely kills it with his database. Referral business, follow-up, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key. It's one thing to get the business, it's another thing to keep the business.
Definitely, and yeah, it's the easiest source of business we can get. We all try working expireds for sale by owners, and you were just telling me, and you're having a killer year, right?
Yep, absolutely. We're on track to break our best year ever last year, so we're having a great year.
Yeah, and Jason, tell us a little bit. Just give us some numbers and like how big is your team?
So we just added 2 people to our team yesterday, 2 more ISAs. Right now we're at 15 people on our team, all divided out amongst different things: buyers partners, listing partners, showing partners. So we have a good team, and the biggest thing we have going for us is our culture. You know, I think that's key anytime you're talking about building a team is having the culture that the people want to come here, they want to stay here, because let's face it, nobody wants to prospect. That phone is a 900-pound gorilla. And we've worked very hard to get people to embrace the phone, and it works. It just works. I mean, if you call somebody about something, you'll get to talk to them, and that's the most important part of it.
Well, I mean, here's the one thing that we get so many people on the Facebook page that are commenting that the phone does feel like a 900-pound weight, and they get so nervous to pick it up. They pick it up, they get scared, they hang it up. What do you do to help your team really raise that culture to have them pick up the phone consistently?
So the first thing that we do is we teach them what to say, and we role play as a team 4 days a week. It's mandatory to be a part of my team. You have to be at role play. Unless there's a blood or an ambulance involved, you have to be here. And it's really changed their comfortableness to pick up the phone. They're not nearly as scared, because during our role play, we literally help them and go through and say, all right, you should have said this, you should have said that, and we do it as a team. So we're very diligent about teaching and spending the time to learn how to talk to people, because let's face it, people do business with people they like. Okay, it's not rocket science. And if you are calling your sphere of influence, they already like you, or they wouldn't be part of your sphere of influence. Agreed?
Agreed, 100%.
So for whatever reason, people don't want to call their sphere of influence for fear of sounding like a salesperson. So they get on the phone and they're like, I don't want to sell them anything. Well, don't sell them anything. Call them and talk to them about their lives, what's been happening. It's a wonderful time to call people right now, because you got Labor Day coming up. What are your plans for Labor Day? You had the summer. Did you go on any great trips this summer? What have your family been up to? Is your kids playing baseball for fall ball? I mean, there's all sorts of things you can talk to people about. And, you know, our big thing is just call somebody about something and let it go from there. And as you understand how to talk to people, and as you understand that we're not there to sell them something, but we're there to serve them, it just becomes easier and easier. And then all of a sudden they call 10 people and they get a deal out of it, and they go, this works. And you're like, really? Tell me more, right?
Now, how much of your business would you say is referral based?
Probably 60 to 70%.
Wow. Where's the other 30% coming from, roughly, would you say?
From our lead gen that we do, whether it's circle prospecting, expireds, the different platforms we have. So we have multiple moving parts, but a tremendous amount of our business comes from referrals.
Now, are you the one are you calling for referrals, or do you have other team members that are calling for referrals on your behalf? How does that work?
We have different departments. So our ISA department, they call any new incoming leads. They field all the calls that come in. So whether they called on a sign, whether they called on the internet, whether they registered on one of our web platforms, they do all that calling. I have started allowing some other people to call my sphere because it's become so big that I can't keep up with it. So my office manager on our call nights that we have once a month will call all the people that closed that month for the last 2 years and say, hey, just reaching out to you. It's been a year that you've been in your home. How's everything going? Jason wanted me to reach out to you and say hello, and people just love it. And it's just a matter of staying in touch with people. And I think the other thing that we have to remember is 25% of the people that we deal with will never use us again. Not because something we did wrong, they wouldn't refer us, they wouldn't use us again. And I think a lot of times we focused on that 25% of the people when in reality we're never going to get business from them. Where 65% of the people would use you again, they would refer you again if they remember. All right? And then 15% of the people are what we call my guys. You got to call my guy Jason. And so as a team goes, we're always working to get more my guys and maintain those my guy relationships. So we're always focusing on getting the 65 to 60, the 15 to 20, and then maintaining that so we have a much more consistent business. And it works. It absolutely works.
So how much time do you spend per day I would think your lead generation is calling your database, correct?
Are you asking me personally, or how much does my team spend?
I'm curious, yourself?
Myself is very much in relationships. So I just left an hour and a half lunch with one of financial guys that I know, and before we left, he says, just so you know, if I ever have anybody that needs real estate, you're the only person I'd give them to. I didn't ask him for any business. It's all in relationship. Whereas the rest of my team, it's mandatory for 1 hour, and we push for 2 hours a day of prospecting.
Gotcha. Because yourself, it sounds like lead generating is going out and having meetings and making phone calls. So how much of a day would you say is actually meant towards lead generation for yourself?
Probably, 1 to 2 hours consistently. There's certainly more things. Have another dinner with somebody else tonight. So mine is much more one-on-one, but
Sure.
It's also with higher level people. And then when we have call nights, I'll get in and call my database. But I come in contact with a lot of people. It's how we do things. So I'm definitely becoming more comfortable allowing other people on my team to call my sphere and say, hey, Jason, just wanted me to reach out to you, see if you had any real estate. People, they're just happy to hear my name. Right, and that's what happens as the rainmaker, and we overthink it. And we're like, what are they going to think if I'm not the one calling them? And we just overthink things. We screw up as soon as we think. All right, if you just go and do things, people are going to respond. Because I guarantee you this, they will not respond if you don't call them.
So let me get this straight, because the one thing I hear from a lot of high-level agents is that they feel that they need to be the one to talk with them. What you're saying is you're getting success with your team prospecting your database, and it doesn't even bother them. Is that right?
That's correct. Because it's not possible for me to call them all anyway. So, I fish a lot, so I put a lot of things in that perspective. The one thing that's certain is you can't catch any fish if you don't have any bait in the water. Right? So if nobody calls them, I'm for sure not getting any business from them. So if somebody calls them, it's better than nobody calling them at all, which is what happens. People get freaked out and they go, oh, what are they going to I'm just not calling. So yeah. Personally, I've had to let go of that. It's certainly something that I struggled with in the very beginning when I started saying, here's my database, start calling them. It's a scary thing to let go of control of. But when you understand it, that you're not calling them at all because there's too many of them and you're not calling them consistently. So one of the things that we started doing is we take the alphabet in the month of January, call A's, February B, so on and so forth. And so what happens is you end up calling all of your contacts twice a year. if you go through the A's, 26 letters, 52. I know it's big math, but that's how it works. So it's something that we've definitely started moving more towards. And I think the other thing with prospecting is having a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to do it, because something is going to get you busy, and you're like, who should I call today, and when should I call them? And then you go, you know what? I'm just not going to call them, because you're getting ready to get ready, so you can get ready, and then you're getting ready and go, and by the time it's time to go, it's time for you to go home and do whatever you need to do for your family. So I think having a plan is imperative for lead generation and following up with whoever it is, whether it's expireds or sphere of influence or anything else for that matter.
Yeah, and I love how simple that plan is. I mean, it's hard to get much simpler than that, than, a letter of the alphabet every week or every couple weeks. So that's something anybody can do and put into place. What do you say we guys jump into some role play?
Let's do it.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's set up the situation. So one of the things we'd like to go over that I think a lot of people struggle with, Aaron, that you mentioned, is the idea of contacting someone that they have worked with in the past, either made contact or especially a past seller client, for example. So let Jason and Aaron kind of picture Aaron as the seller client that you've worked with a year ago. Let's say you have not made any contact with them at all, and just walk us through how that phone call typically goes and how you would wrap that up to actually steer it towards possibly asking for business.
Okay. So I'll call you, Aaron, okay?
Sounds good.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Aaron, Jason Shinpaugh. How are you doing?
Oh, Jason, it's been a while. I'm well. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking. I was actually over in your neighborhood the other day and drove by your house, and I thought of you and your family, and I just wanted to reach out and see how you guys are doing.
Oh, we're good. We're good. We had the twins. It's been a little crazy. Did you see the new lawn, the new bushes that my wife put up in front of the house?
Yeah, they looked very exciting. I suspect that you probably had something to do with that. Is that right?
A little bit. She lets me do everything now and then, but she's the boss.
Well, that's pretty funny because Linda, we just had a yard put in ours. She's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I think we should call the lawn guy to put that in for us." So, so I can certainly appreciate where you're coming from. I don't know if you recall when you met Linda or whatever. She's the handy woman. She has the toolbox at the house. I have the phone with everybody's number in it. So I'd rather go on the boat and have somebody do the work for me. But that's awesome about the twins. So boys and girls, boys or girls?
Yeah, one of each. We're finally getting a little bit of sleep now. So they're good. It's good. That on top of the 4-year-old, it's been a fun 6 months. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you say that because our kids are Sarah's 6 now and little Jason, he's 8. And just the other day I was saying to my wife, I miss it so much from them being that age. And she's like, I don't miss it. And I was like, well, I miss it more from the standpoint of how fast they grow up. And I'm sure you can appreciate that with your son being 4 years old now and how fast they grow up. I think one of the things that I wish I would have done is appreciated more them crying and things like that, because it does go so quick. Have you found that to be true?
Oh yeah. So does that mean you're going to come by and babysit so my wife and I can go out tomorrow?
I'd be happy to. I absolutely would. That'd be something we'd be more than happy to do for you guys.
I'm holding you to that one, Jason.
All right. I don't know about this weekend. I've got a trip planned this weekend, but in the next couple weeks, if we could ever serve you like that, just let me know. I'd be happy to.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll tell my wife. She's going to hold you to it. You know Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely. So that means that you guys is the house big enough for you guys? Are you going to be looking for a bigger house soon?
We weren't expecting to have twins, so I think we're going to sit here for a little bit, but maybe they're going to need their own rooms eventually, so maybe 5-6 years down the road, I would think is the house. You think, is it worth more than when we bought it a year ago?
Absolutely. The market right now is the best it's been in probably the last 8 years. We're seeing bidding wars. We just sold 2 in your neighborhood, as a matter of fact. One of them was on the market for 6 days, and one was on for 7 days. So the market is incredibly hot. But, that's all relative, because then you got to go and buy something else. Right. So you got to make sure that it makes sense. Interest rates are crazy low still. But, you guys only buying a year ago, you still got a great interest rate and things. But, the market's definitely up.
Excellent. Yeah, I don't know. With everything going on, I couldn't even imagine moving right now. But who knows? These kids get big. You know how it happens. So if we had, they were supposed to be for 2, now we got 3. So
So here's how it usually works in my world. People are sitting on the couch and they say, hey, I was looking online and I saw this new house and it's got 5 bedrooms and a pool, and do you want to go and look at it? And the next thing you know, you got a moving truck in your front yard with one of my signs out there, and they're like, how did that just happen? But so you're not abnormal. That's how the process usually works. It's never on purpose because nobody ever wants to move, right? So it's all about timing and making sure you have room for your family. But you guys got a great house and a great neighborhood. Yeah. So I don't, I think it's, I think it'd be kind of pointless for you to sell right now because you have your kids are going to be sleeping in your room with you for the next 6 months. So what difference does it make?
Exactly. So yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate the call. It's good catching up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, would you do me a favor, Aaron? If you happen to know of anybody thinking or buying or selling in the future, would you just keep us in mind? We certainly appreciate that, and the bulk of our business comes from referrals. So I'd appreciate if you'd keep us in mind.
Yeah, I definitely will. I mean, I think my my cousin was talking about moving. When was it? We saw her a couple of weeks ago. So I'll let you know if she decides she wants to do something.
Cool. What did she say? Is she moving to this area or just moving somewhere?
She said she really liked where we are, and she wanted to be closer to where we are. So I know she's got to sell a house in Tampa, Florida, because we know that's close here.
Right.
I have no idea, but yeah, she needs to sell a place in Tampa, and then move here, and we'd like to have family closer. So
sure. Well, then you'd have a sitter and not have to use me, which is probably better for your kids. So one of the things just to keep in mind is we have a network of real estate professionals all over the country. I network with the top producing agents, no matter where they're at in the country. And so if your cousin does get serious about it, let me know. And I would be happy to put her in touch with somebody over there that'll take great care of her, somebody that I know personally. They sell a bunch of houses in that market and really make sure she's looked after. And then if we could do anything to serve her when she moves over here, we'd love the opportunity to do that as well.
Excellent. No, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate the call. It's nice talking with you.
My pleasure. I hope you guys do great, and if I can do anything to serve you, let me know.
I'm sending an email in 2 weeks. You're coming over to watch the babies.
I'm all in. My wife would love it.
Excellent. Thanks again.
My pleasure. Have a great afternoon.
Awesome. Well, Jason, break a couple things down for me. So number one, probably there's the 2 most difficult parts of that phone call, but besides the actual picking up of the phone itself, is number one, the pivot point or the segue where you go from kind of the natural conversation back into steering it towards real estate in general, and then the other part would be kind of the asking, the do me a favor kind of script. So take me through a couple of those things and just how you kind of steer it from a very natural, like just the Ford technique, talking about stuff, back into real estate.
Well, I think the important thing is not to be afraid to ask. What's the worst thing they can say? No. Right? I mean, we're having a very friendly conversation, and I didn't just say, hey, Aaron, can I come sell your house today? I mean, he has an absolute need or is going to have a need in the very near future to have a bigger house. That's just all there is to it. So Aaron gave me the perfect opportunity to bring that up. I mean, that's just that's a softball. So thank you for that, Aaron. I appreciate that. You making it nice for me like that. But I think the other part of it is really remembering, our team is all about serving people. And there's nothing pushy about what I did. I have the perfect opportunity to follow up. I didn't have to jump on it for the business at that point. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make. Somebody mentions real estate and they're like, hey, here's my card, can I help you? And people, that's where people are put off. So I was calling Aaron for a very friendly conversation because I was in his neighborhood and I was truly thinking about him, but it turned into a work call. But I don't have to jump on that. I can call Aaron in 5 days and say, hey, Aaron, I just wanted to follow up. Any word from your cousin? I was talking to my friend in Tampa. He said the market over there is crazy hot. Can I get her number and maybe I could reach out and see what we could do to serve her and make sure she's well taken care of?
Can we role play that out real quick? Would you mind doing the follow-up call? What you would do? Let's role play that out real quick.
Hold on a second. I don't have that script in front of me. All right, hold on. Okay, no.
And one comment I just wanted to say, too, the best part I liked about it is you went from personal to business, and it was seamless.
Yep.
It was very slick and very well done, and it just didn't – it fit. It was perfect. I didn't even notice you were doing it until after you did it. So that was beautiful.
But I think that's the point that I was saying to Matt is it's about serving our clients. It has to be real. All right, I can't be calling you and not be genuinely interested in how you and your family are doing. If you're calling sphere of influence and you're not genuinely interested in what's happening in their world, don't call.
Yeah.
Because you're going to come across as a slime bucket. All right? I'm genuinely interested, and I would genuinely come there and watch your children for you. I would not even hesitate about it. But I also know that you're not really going to call me and ask me to do that.
Well, let's do this. I would like to hear what the follow-up, because I think what happens is people hear that, they hear the cousin, and then they just don't do anything because they're like, oh my gosh, I can't call him again. So role play with me. Follow up on that.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Aaron. Jason Shinpaugh. How are you doing?
Hey, excellent. You calling to come take care of the babies?
I am. I actually was calling to see how well you slept last night. I was bored and had some time on my hand. I want to see how well you slept last night.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
That good, huh?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yeah, no, I understand. How are the twins doing? They doing all right?
They're good. They're good. One of them's sleeping, the other one isn't. You know how it goes.
Yep. They're on opposite schedules?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. It's the
and you're
boys.
begging to go to the office right now. You're like, hon, I got to get to the office. I got to do something there. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be there for a while. And you go to your office and take a nap in the chair?
I'm going to buy a Google Sleep Pod, or one of those, like, sleep pods. Google. So excited for that. Don't know how I'm going to hide $5,000 from my wife, but, you know.
Yeah, right. You know what's really funny about that? I have a client that has one of those chairs that what you're talking about, and he let me sit in that thing, and I was like, where in the world did you get this? I felt like I was in a cocoon. He goes, well, this will help your blood pressure, and this will help this, and this will help that. I'm like, all right, that's cool. How much was it? He's like, oh, $7,500. I'm like, I'm pretty good in my on the floor. I'm good. So, but I do know what you're talking about with all those sleep pods. Those things are impressive.
Give me a rug and a pillow.
Yeah, $7,500. I'll stuff my mattress with $1 bills, and it'll be a lot more comfortable. So, hey, listen, I know you're busy and you got a lot going on. I wanted to follow up with you. Last time we spoke, you mentioned your cousin. I wanted to see if you'd talk to her anymore or whatever. I happened to be talking to my friend over in Tampa, and he was telling me how hot the market was over there, and he said there's a severe shortage of homes on the market. And I mentioned to him your cousin. I said I'd talked to one of my clients, and they have a cousin that may be relocating and things like that. I wanted to see if you'd heard from her or if that had gone any further.
You know what? I've got to catch up with her. I really haven't had the opportunity, to talk with her. I definitely can, though. Thanks for the reminder. I appreciate it.
Well, of course, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, if it's okay with you, maybe I'll follow up with you next week and see how it's going, because I want to make sure that we're here to serve her because this is a big deal. It's the largest transaction of somebody's life, and everybody talks about first-time home buyers. And they forget to talk about first-time home sellers. So there's a lot of moving parts that go along with selling your home, and I want to make sure she's in touch with somebody that's going to really take care of her and serve her needs in Tampa. And then, of course, when she comes over here, we'll be happy to take care of her, and we'll crush it for her.
Excellent. No, I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I'll try and remember to give her a call. I'll talk to my wife. I'll definitely get in touch with her.
Sure. And listen, man, I'm not stalking you guys out, but one of the things that I know is, the market's moving quick over here, and I want to make sure that we're on top of it for you and your cousin as well, because if she's going to move, the market is moving here as well. So it's just one of those things we got to make sure we're on top of it. So if I haven't heard from you in a week or so, you cool if I follow back up with you?
Yeah, no problem. You can call anytime you want.
All right, that sounds great. And listen, I'm still on for taking care of those kids for you. I mean, if you find something,
come by on Friday. Come by on Friday. I'll talk to her by then.
Okay, you got any rum toddies happening Friday?
Any what?
Rum toddies.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good.
Rum drinks. You got any rum drinks happening on the back there?
I don't even know what alcohol is anymore. I just drink coffee.
No. Well, you are from New York. I guess what do you guys drink? That fancy vodka up there or something like that? One of those frosted bottles.
Yeah, the fancy vodka.
Yeah, sorry, man. We just have rum. So, all right, man, that sounds great. Well, I'll touch base with you in a week or so.
Excellent. All right, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a great afternoon.
Jason. What I'll say that I liked about that is you asked twice for permission to call, because when you ask it, there's no problem with it, so you don't look like, and then you even mentioned I don't want to look like a crazy stalker. So I think that was a great. Yeah. It's simplistic. It's very easy, and we overthink it, like you said.
That's why we win. It's because I'm a simple person, and I can't get complicated. And in all fairness, I don't have this crazy script that I follow. It's just very genuine, and it's from my heart. I mean, I envisioned the neighborhood that you lived in, so I knew where when we were role playing this, I had all that in my mind. So it was just like you truly were one of my past clients, And I think that's the important part is being who you are. That's who they bought their house from or sold their house with. So they should like you. And if they don't like you, you shouldn't be calling them. You should know that. So you're calling people that are very warm. You're calling your family. You're calling people you haven't talked to in a long time. And if you call them with the right heart of, hey, listen, how are you? What's been happening? I saw you on Facebook. Saw you guys just got back from Las Vegas. Whatever it is that you strike the conversation with, it should be 75 to 80% about them and their lives and 15 or 20% about business, unless they want to talk more about business.
Well, let me ask you this, because the one close that we always hear is, so, Jason, who do you know that may be buying or selling?
Oh,
you don't use that.
I don't.
Okay.
I think there's a much better way to get that information.
Sure.
So would you do me a favor? Would you keep me in mind? If you know of anybody that's thinking of buying or selling any real estate in the future, I'd appreciate it, because we get the bulk of our business from referrals. So that's telling them, hey, we get referrals, and that's how we do business. It's okay to send us referrals, right? You're subliminally telling them it's okay for them to send us referrals. Most people don't know how to send referrals. Unless you're in a referral-based business like we are, we take it for granted that everybody refers everybody all the time. A lot of people are not comfortable sending referrals. So you have to teach them how to send you referrals. And you don't teach them in one conversation. So shame on me for not talking to you for a year, right? If I'd been talking to you every month or every quarter, or my office had been following up with you and going, how's the house? And, it's been 3 months already. Can you believe it? Anything we can do for you? Did you get all your paperwork from this? If we'd been doing that all along, he would have already thought of me for his cousin.
Right. And then, so what does the typical follow-up look like after you've had this initial conversation? What will you do after that to stay in touch?
So I drop him a handwritten note card in the mail.
Okay.
It's great chatting with you. I might go get him a $10 Starbucks gift card. Hey, I know you hadn't been getting much sleep. Grab a cup of coffee on me on the way back to the office. Just something thoughtful. We just sent one of our clients a $1 lottery ticket. It was one of the hardest, most difficult clients we had. And he's like, what do you think, I won the lottery? So we went and got him a $1 lottery ticket and dropped it in the mail for my transaction manager. And the guy was her BFF after that point. A $1 lottery. Right? So it's all about listening, and it's all about paying attention to what they're saying so that you can key off on all that. So the next time, what was the first thing I asked you about the next time we talked? How are the twins?
Exactly.
Right? Because I was engaged with you last time. It wasn't like, oh boy, let's just I checked the box, I made my prospecting call, and I move on. You have to be actively engaged. Calling your sphere is very labor intensive because you have to be engaged, and you have to mean it. If you don't mean it, it will not work.
How long would you say a typical call takes with your sphere?
For me, they're generally 15 minutes or so. I spend a lot of time with them.
Gotcha.
What about you, Aaron? Same question to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Not exactly my. It's not. See, I'm what I'm called more a hunter than a farmer, and it's one thing that I can call expireds all day long, but this has actually been a phenomenal call for me because I know that I really need to work on my sphere because I sit here every day and I hammer out the phone and hammer out the phone and hammer out the phone. It's very labor intensive to do that every day. When, I mean, Jason, how many phone calls do you get a week? Would you say with people saying I want to work with you?
Personally, not including my team, anything like that, I probably average one a day. Somebody that just calls and says, hey, we're thinking about putting our house on the market, or we may want to buy. I mean, they don't all come to fruition, of course.
Sure.
But if you average it out, I had a lady call this week, and my client care manager's like, I'll be happy to help you out. And she's like, I want to talk to Jason. Yeah. So, of course, I called her back, and she's like, my daughter wants to buy a house, and I don't want to talk to anybody but you. I was like, listen, that's awesome. I'll be happy to serve your daughter. What's her number? She's like, she's here with me right now. So I got on the phone, and I talked to her for 5 minutes, and then I had my client care manager reach out to her, and she's happy as the day is long, right? And so they move into our system. And sometimes they just want to talk to Jason, and I'm cool with that, all right? I'm never going to say, no, I can't talk to you. That's crazy. But I think understanding that your team is going to take great care of you, or take great care of your clients, and that was a control thing that I had to let go of. They're calling Jason, and I have to let my team go, right? But if I can't trust them, they shouldn't be on my team. And so, I'm setting my business up to not be a realtor, but to be a business owner. And it's a transition, and it takes a lot of effort in your mind to get over that, to let people call your sphere of influence, to do that. But when you get to the point that you're comfortable with the people that are calling them, and you understand that them calling them at all is better than you not calling them at all, it becomes a win-win.
Very cool.
Great point.
Yeah, great advice. I think we're kind of coming to the end of our time together. So I don't know any better way than to leave it off with that. Jason, you have any parting words for anybody making? What about kind of put me back in the I guess the shoes of when you were coming up? Obviously, a lot of your business came from referrals, and you built up your own solo business that way. Was there any lessons you learned along the way that you can share with people before we end this?
Absolutely, I didn't call them nearly enough. That is the greatest mistake I've ever made in my entire professional career, is not staying in touch and not keeping in contact with my past clients, my sphere of influence, and that. I mean, it's a travesty, the amount of volume that I could be closing right now just from that. And I'm having to go back and recreate it. I'm having to go back and touch it again, and and I'm a high eye, so I'm not great with systems and details and all that stuff, and I'm having to really go back and put those things in place. But if I could just encourage you with one thing, just pick up the phone and call somebody about something, and just watch what happens. It'll blow your mind, the amount of business you will generate out of it.
Yeah, I love that line. Pick up the phone and call somebody about something.
Great advice. Great advice.
That's right. Well, cool. Well, so a few things we want to point out. Number one is if you have any referrals coming into not just Cocoa Beach area, but you're in, tell us a little bit about the county and the general area that you're in Florida that you work with your team.
We're Central Florida, Brevard County. Anybody that's coming into Brevard County, we're a very long county, but we handle, we can do anything here in our county. So if anybody's coming to Brevard County, we'd be happy to serve them. Think of where the Space Center is. It's it's in my backyard. So anybody coming here, we'd love the opportunity to serve them, and be happy to pay you guys a referral fee as well.
Yeah, and that so the website that's under Jason's name and theplacesforsale.com is the best way to get in touch, and shoot an email to Jason there if you have any referrals coming his way. And then Aaron, what's the best way to hook up with the Facebook group and to send referrals your way, obviously up in Westchester?
Yeah, if you look right below, go to facebook.com/GotObjections. If you guys need anything in New York, let me know. I got people everywhere in New York. This has been great. Jason, I just want to say thank you. I really learned a lot today. Thank you very much for getting on with us. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, and I appreciate the invite. It's very humbling for me to be able to help you guys. But also I wanted to say, if anybody has any questions, you can email me. I'm happy to just go through our website, and I'll get the notification or whatever. But if I can serve anybody, I'm happy to do it. If you want to have a one-off, I'm happy to do that. If you want to have a quick role play, I could put you in touch with my ISA department. They're just machines on the phone. So I'm happy to help and serve any way that I can. So I really appreciate you guys having me. It's been awesome and a lot of fun.
Yeah. And if anybody's watching this, the replay version, either on Google Plus or YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the Lead Gen TV channel. That way you get notifications when we do another one of these types of episodes. If you want to listen to like an audio version, everything that we're doing here is sponsored by the podcast that I run. It's called Real Estate Uncensored. So if you look that up on iTunes, all of these episodes will syndicate there. That way you can go back and listen to these and listen to what Jason has to say over and over again. That's one of the reasons why me and Aaron wanted to do this, was kind of get in and really role play and see what the top agents do. Because like you said, Aaron, it's not super complicated. There's definitely a lot of repetition that Jason's done, and so he's very comfortable and smooth. But a lot of it is just having the confidence to ask.
Exactly, and I think the goal here is a lot of people do these webinars and podcasts and YouTube shows. We're getting into people's businesses here. There's nothing more real than getting on a phone and role playing with somebody. And this is what we're going to be doing. Every single call, we're going to be doing something different. So you're going to learn something every time. And for anybody who's on or coming on, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks you guys again so much. Thank you, Jason, and we will see everybody on the next episode.
One more thing. We forgot to tell them.
What's up?
Oh,
go ahead.
Still there?
No, we're still here.
No. Remember that what we were going to mention, that it looks like we have a new sponsor for the show.
Yeah. So Inman. Okay. So they have the Inman Select, which is the subscription part of their service. Obviously, you can sign up for the daily or the weekly emails, just get their free content. But they're working out a discount where more details are coming. Probably by the next episode, we'll have like an actual page that you can go to for more details. But there's going to be a special discount for anybody that wants to sign up for Inman Select. and a little code that you can use to get that discount when you go sign up for that. So we encourage everybody to check that out. If you're not already signed up for just the regular basic emails, go to inman.com and sign up for those and stay on top of what's going on in the real estate community.
Excellent. All right, guys, go make some money.
That's right. All right, guys.
Have a great day.
All right, thanks, Jason.